WDEL.
Welcome back to the Susan Monday Show. Robert Burns sitting in for Susan as she enjoys a little vacation for the holiday, and I hope you're enjoying your holiday vacation as well. If it hasn't started yet, I hope it starts for you soon. We are going to be talking for. I want to sort of shift gears a little bit and talk about some people who are doing some really awesome, wonderful things for their fellow Delawareans, and in this case, for people from all over the world. And specifically, imagine you're a parent and you have a child who's struggling with a critical illness, and they're at the DuPont Hospital for Children, which is one of the premier hospitals for children in the world, and certainly one of the gems of Delaware. But it's Christmas time, and your child is in there. And I have some personal experience with this in that the daughter of very close friends of mine spent many months after her appendix burst and almost killed her. The hospital doctors came to their rescue, saved her life. She's a thriving college student now, but she was in the hospital for, I think, 4 months, something like that. It's a long time to be in there. And the child life specialists are just angels, in my opinion, and they're doing wonderful things there. And one of them is joining us now. Carrie Kelly is a certified child life specialist, and she joins us now. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining us. I just wanted to touch. I think what you guys do there is tremendous, and I know everybody at Delmarva is involved. You know, we do the radiothon there, and all the stations come, and we're in the atrium there, and it means something, and we get a lot of support from Delawareans and our listeners, and we're so grateful for that. But I wanted to just turn the spotlight on what you guys do. So let's, and especially what do you do to help Christmas be a little bit better for hospitalized kids? First, let's just talk about what a child life specialist is, if you would.
Sure, absolutely. So again, I'm over at Nemours AI DuPont Hospital, and I work on the general pediatrics floor, which is on the 4th floor, and some of them are listening, so that's their shout out. But child life specialists, just like me and all over the country, our job is to help kids cope with the emotional impact of being hospitalized. So with that comes education on, say, a diagnosis or a procedure with the patient. Sometimes that education or explanation is with the siblings to help them understand the illness or the outcome that their brother or sister is facing and their journey ahead. And we try to do all that in age-appropriate words that they understand. It's also preparing them emotionally for procedures or surgeries, maybe helping them develop a coping plan that they can rely on to get through what might be scary or unknown. I think for all of us, adults included, that anticipatory anxiety, it's a killer. I mean, so if you don't know what's coming, if we can give them that plan of what they're going to see, what they're going to smell, what they're going to feel, that takes a little bit of that stress away. So that can really lower that impact for them. We're even able to come into the operating room with the child, hold their hand, support them through their fears, right before they go under anesthesia, to be that familiar face they see, and the voice that they're familiar hearing on the unit that they just came down from. That's a little bit of the education and the prep part. There's also the giant fun part, which is play for child life. I think play is a huge part of any child's life, and we make sure that we bring that component to the child even in the hospital. So play is where they can outlet that energy, they can embrace that normal of being a kid. We do shaving cream fights, instead of snowball fights when they can't go outside in the winter. We do Nerf gun wars, all kinds of stuff that they could do at home that I try to bring into the hospital for them. So they're able to then express themselves, maybe any stress they're feeling, any anger, any fear that they're harboring. And maybe they can't put that into words, but, when you can shoot a target of all the things that are making you angry about your diagnosis, sometimes that helps on their level really express where they are emotionally. So that play can be therapeutic, or it can just be fun play.
How important is it? I know they say laughter is the best medicine. So I'm guessing that fun is a very important part of the of a care program of getting kids better.
Absolutely, and it does, statistically it has shown that it really does help in their overall medical outcome. If we're able, that's stress. I mean, think about all that stress that you carry when you're worried about something. And, whereas child life specialists, we work with an incredible team of doctors and nurses, and they handle that medical component. They're gonna get your child feeling better. But if we can emotionally help your child relax, if we can help them laugh a little bit, then the procedures that they're facing will go a little smoother. If they have to get an IV, and no one likes shots and needles, but if we can distract them during it, we can play a game, we can show them an iPad, we can, I've danced, I've sang, I've done it all. Anything to try to make that moment a little less stressful for them and fun.
And what about this weekend? And I've got to imagine that it's more intense. Maybe it's more intense for the parents who have children who are in the hospital over Christmas. What do you do for the holidays? Is it particularly difficult? And is there anything that somebody who's just listening and maybe thankfully is not a patient or the parent of a patient can do?
Sure, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the diseases, the diagnoses, the traumas, they don't stop just because it's the holiday season, sadly. So we have tons of families that are spending their Christmas in pediatric hospitals, just like Nemours. The biggest thing for us this week, we've had an amazing contribution of donations, all over from churches and families, from the Pennsylvania State Police, the Delaware State Police, Homeland Security. I mean, you name it, they're just coming through the front door. It's really unbelievable to watch every day. And the big thing this week is Snowflake Station. So this week, Child Life runs something for the parents to hopefully minimize that pressure of knowing Christmas is coming. I've been here all week. I haven't finished my shopping, not just for my child that's in the hospital, but their siblings, and balancing that for your other children at home is a great stress. So our volunteers and staff have worked tirelessly. We sorted through all the donations. We've designed an incredible Christmas shop that's within the hospital. So Wednesday, Thursday, and today, parents were given free tickets. They don't pay for anything at all. They're given a handful of tickets. They come through and they shop for their children. They shop for their child that's in the hospital. They shop for their kids that maybe are at home. And we have a wrapping station. Everything gets wrapped. So hopefully that takes something off of their plate. So that's just even leading up until Christmas has been going on this week with Child Life. Obviously the big thing being, Christmas Eve, Santa does come to the hospital. He has some helping Santas as well because it's a big hospital. So we make sure that every child that wants to see Santa on Christmas Eve gets a chance to see Santa. And he comes room to room, whether you are a NICU patient or whether you are an older teen. And everyone gets a present and a visit from Santa this Christmas Eve. Yeah,
I was just going to ask you, even for the older teens, it must be at least fun, regardless of where they are sort of in their journey on whether about Santa and how they believe and think about Santa. It's got to be nice just to know, hey, somebody's caring about me.
100%. And I tell the teenagers, whether it's the holiday season or not, this is a place where you can just be a kid. There is no judgment. There's no age. It's okay to want a blanket to hold. It's okay to want a stuffed animal. Age loses all those barriers when you're in the hospital, and Santa included. I mean, who doesn't love getting a visit from the big guy?
Yeah, exactly. And what about Christmas Day itself? Do you have Child Life specialists who are working that day, or how does Christmas Day happen in Nemours?
We do. So sometimes they go well into the night, making sure that everything's delivered. So that Christmas morning, we really leave that to their families. We do have staff that are obviously there, but by then all the presents have been handed out. There's always a lot of last-minute running, especially if you come through the emergency department. We want to make sure that we have extra goodies set aside for the kids that maybe unfortunately came in on the overnight or that morning. So we're in pretty good shape with all the toys that Santa needs to hand out. I know you had mentioned, what could anyone doing that's listening? I think our big thing on our agenda is we're building a brand new playroom for these kids inside the hospital. And that's set to open this spring, but we need to raise a lot of money and toys to put in that playroom. So anyone listening that wants to help us build this playroom, this is going to be a room where kids can go and kind of forget they're in the hospital. No doctors, no nurses. There's going to be a sensory room for kids that are on the spectrum. Just a quiet place to be a kid, a reading center, a dress-up dramatic play center, and all of that obviously takes funding. So even through the holidays, and once we get over the holidays, I would say just remember we're always there. The hospital is always there, and kids are always needing your help. So whether that's a box of Legos or that's a monetary donation, Nemours would extremely appreciate that.
And I was just going to ask you whether or not you accept actual toys, and it sounds like you do, but I'm guessing you want them to be new, obviously, and not used because of
new
germs.
Unwrapped toys, just from an infectious control standpoint. But that's amazing, and nothing is too small. We appreciate and love everything that comes through. And
how do you do? Do you just come to the main drive over, come to the main desk?
Yep, absolutely. You can either go onto our website, and if you go on the Moores' website and look for Child Life, we have an updated wish list. So some of the things that the kids are needing right now, especially as you mentioned, teens are tough. I have teens at home, and it's always tough to figure out what they want. But it's got a couple sample items of, some headphones we're always looking for, iTunes gift cards. And then you would just bring that to the main doors of the atrium, right up to the information security desk. And our staff can meet you down there and shake your hand and thank you.
You have some teens and you have two older kids, and one of them is following mom's footsteps, right? I mean, how proud of you are. Tell us, I don't know if you can mention her for a minute.
Yeah.
You have a daughter who's going into this profession as well, right?
I sure can. My daughter, Faith, just graduated Penn State up at main campus, and she has a degree in human development and family studies. And I'm extremely proud. She completed her school. She completed a 400-hour practicum, a 600-hour internship for Child Life, and she's probably on track to be a better Child Life specialist than I am. And I think, as parents, seeing our kids achieve their dream is always remarkable and awesome. But seeing that her dream was also what I do is emotional and overwhelming for me.
We are talking with Carrie Howard Kelly. She is a certified child life specialist at Nemours DuPont Hospital for Kids. And if you can hang on, Carrie, over this commercial break, we're going to talk about your husband, who I think a few people might know, and he's got a big race that is involved with at DuPont. This is, if you don't know who this is just a great family, and I'm so happy to have you with us, and we'll be right back on the Susan Monday Show.
There's more Susan Monday coming up on 101.7 FM.
Welcome back to the Susan Monday Show. Robert Burns sitting in, and we are talking with Carrie Howard Kelly, a certified child life specialist at Nemours DuPont Hospital for Children. They do amazing things, as you know, and the child life specialists, in my opinion, they're angels. And so, Carrie, we talked a little bit about you can donate, and there's always a place for donations and people to help. But your husband is somebody who, at least people in upstate Delaware are going to know, because for a little expression called JAMO. And he's a friend, and I've worked with him for years. Bob Kelly, who is the traffic guy on Fox 29, has started the BK 5K for the hospital. Tell me a little bit about that.
He has. It's been an amazing impact. It's the BK 5K. We just had our second annual one. So that's a chance where families can come out, they can walk, they can run. There's a kids race, which has confetti blasters, superhero masks, bubble machines. There's the typical 5K, that the families can participate in, and we have some real runners that come out, and we have some that just come out for fun to spend the day. But all that money that Bob is raising all goes directly 100% back to the Child Life Department at Nemours, and that's all going to fund the new activity center. And this year he raised over $20,000, which in the second year is just incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and to have somebody of his stature and star power. Plus, he's just the nicest guy. You are married to the nicest guy, and he is married to just the nicest person. And thank you guys for what you do for all the kids and the families. Do you have families from all over the world there, or is it mostly at this time of year probably local? Can they get home, or are there some people not stuck, but staying at Ronald McDonald House, for example?
Yeah, no, they are from all over the world. We have many, many different countries represented, many states all over the United States, and the Ronald McDonald House is a pretty full house right now. So, and we take care of them over there as well. So definitely, we have them from everywhere. So
just give me a piece of parting advice. If you know a family who has a child in the hospital, what's the best thing you can do for them if you can't necessarily get to the hospital? Are there things that are supportive? Is it just saying, hey, I'm here for you? What's the best way to support a family who might have a child at the hospital?
Absolutely. I think remembering that not only just on this Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but the days leading up and the days after it, is remembering that they're there. I think just like any of us, myself included, we feel someone else's trauma. We feel how tough that must be, what they're going through, but then life kind of goes back to normal. And for them inside that hospital, it doesn't. When you're there, and it doesn't matter if it's a cancer diagnosis, if it's an appendix, if it's a fracture, they are all equally as traumatic to that family and equally as important to us as child life specialists. So I think as their family and friends, just remember they're there. Pick up the phone, send a text. You can call, or gift shop delivers. You can call the hospital. You can have something set up to the room. You can yourself come by and leave something at the desk, and they'll bring it right up to that room. So just remember them when you're on your Christmas Eve and your Christmas morning with their families. I think just letting everyone know that you're thinking of them as well.
Yeah, I think it's a simple thing, but it's so important. And Carrie,
it really is.
Carrie, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to donate a toy, tell us once again what you need to do or how to get involved. We have like one more minute here, and so tell us how to get involved with DuPont.
Absolutely. You just go to our Nemours AI DuPont Hospital for Children website and look for the Child Life tab. And right on there, it'll tell you how to make the donation, the forms to fill out, and where you need to go. So whether it's, like I said, nothing too big, nothing too small, and we appreciate that all year round. It really does make an incredible difference for these kids and these families. And I just want to say I work with an incredible team at the hospital. My child life staff is, in my opinion, the best of the best, and it's really an honor to work next to them all.
And clearly you have a daughter who's doing that. You have two sons. Both of your sons, I think, are volunteer firefighters. Is that right?
They are. Both of them are volunteer firefighters. So we're very proud of all our kids. And you
got the young little brother who's quite the character. That boy is going to be a television star someday.
We have Austin, who's going to be gunning for your job or Bob's on TV one of these days. So look out.
He's a lot more telegenic than I am. Carrie Howard Kelly, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it for what you and everybody at DuPont are doing at Nemours DuPont Hospital for Children in Wilmington, one of the premier hospitals for kids in the entire world, and it's a gem right here in Delaware doing great things. And we wish you and Bob and your entire family a wonderful, happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and thank you for what you're doing. And
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thanks. And coming up, we're going to talk more about great things happening in Delaware, and I want to hear your stories. I want shout-outs. We're having an on-air holiday party today because, let's face it, nobody's working today. Well, I'm working, but I'm having a blast, and I'll just pour another glass of Radio Punch here, and let's talk. 529-1017 upstate, downstate 839-1059. That is also our text line. I want to hear shout-outs to people who are doing great things for their neighbors and their friends this holiday season. It's the spirit of the holiday. Let's share it with everybody here on the Susan Monday Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender involves so much more than just a rate. Only Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards. No other lender comes close to that level of client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage. It gives our clients a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online in minutes. No one else has anything like it. And our people. Each one of our 17,000-plus team members throughout Detroit, Cleveland, and Phoenix provides absolute client satisfaction each and every day. So why would you go anywhere else to get your mortgage? Go to America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to Rocket